Once we've got our workspace open, we can open the routing toolbox by going to Tools, Routing and Directions Manager, or we can click on the Routing Manager button on the toolbar. So we're going to start by choosing a few locations by pointing. So let's assume that Frank Turner is where we're starting our route. Maybe he's going on a sales route or something similar. So I'm going to choose Click Locations, which is click to add a stop here on the far left. I'm going to zoom in and click the location when we're starting. It's going to add a stop. And then I can assign other locations by clicking as well. So if I need to stop here, then I can click there. If I need to stop here, I can click there. And if I need to stop here, I can click there. I hit optimize, and it's going to give me an optimized route for the stops. So if I want to choose the ending location or the starting location to also be the ending location, then I can right click on whatever my starting location currently is. In this case, it's stop 1. And I can just check the box for choose as end. It'll prompt me to add my first stop as my last stop. I'll hit yes. And we'll see that it'll add it again here to the list. Now when I hit optimize, it's going to make a loop. It's also going to show us the optimal way to run this route. If we want to, we can click on the button for reverse stops. So this will reverse the start and end of the stops. In this case, they're the same. So it's just going to give us the same loop again. But if you wanted to reverse the order of the route, then you could use this option, reverse stops. We can also rearrange the route. So if we know that we need to hit, say, stop 4 before stop 3, we can highlight stop 4 and click on the move stop up button. It's going to move it up one in the list. And then when we hit get directions this time, it's going to give us a new route where stop 3 is before stop 4. Next up, we're going to select clients for the route. Rather than clicking on them on the map, we are going to highlight a number of clients from our imported point layer. So this is used most popularly if you maybe imported a spreadsheet of addresses and you want to select a number of these addresses or all of the addresses to perform or to include in a route. So to do this in general, we're going to open the Add Locations Based on a Selection Set menu. By default, it'll have us route all of the features in the set. So if you imported a spreadsheet, it'll be routing every single point in the spreadsheet. Maybe instead we want to route based on a number of features that we highlight. So maybe we only want to highlight like half of the points and route those. So to do that, I'm going to use the selection tools. You should have a toolbar that looks much like this. If you do not, you can open it from the selection menu by choosing selection and then toolbar. So before I do any selections on a particular layer, I'm going to make it the working layer. So I'll right click on clients and choose make working layer. Now we can see the selection toolbar is updated. It now says client selection. If I want to add a point to my selection set and thus include it in my route, I can choose select by pointing and I can click a number of the points. We know they're selected because they are highlighted in red. I can also select multiple points by using a select by rectangle, select by circle, or a select by shape. For example, I'll choose select by shape. I'll click once to start my shape, click again to add vertices, and then when I've circled all the points that I want, I can double click to close the shape. So here we have all the points I've highlighted. Let's say that these are the points that I want to include in my route. Then I will choose add locations based on a selection set here in the routing manager. Instead of all features, I'll choose my selection set, which is selection 1. And I can even provide it with a stop name from something in my Excel sheet. So if I wanted to label it with the name or the street address or something like that, I could. I'll do the customer name in this case. And I can also set stop times and arrival and departure times based on fields from my spreadsheet. Once I hit OK, it'll number the stops, and I can hit optimize to optimize them all. I'm going to display another poll here. So if I wanted to add a route manually, or a stop manually, I could type it into the address bar here. So for example, if I wanted to add 11,000 Wolf Way, I actually don't even need a city for this because I have a zip code. But if you want to add a city, that's fine as well. And the zip code is 80031. If there are multiple addresses meeting that, then it will prompt me to choose a nearby address. It looks like this is the one that I want, so I'll hit OK. It'll add the stop. It's up here in this case. And then when I hit get optimize, it will include it in the route. You could also enter in multiple addresses this way. I only entered one and added it to my current route because I already had a route going. But if you wanted to clear a route and make a new one, you could choose this clear all locations and routes button here. So if we want to share the route with others, we can share it via either an Excel sheet or a PDF report. First, we'll do the PDF report so I can show you what it looks like. So you can see it has an individual page for each leg of the route from one stop to another. Shows the directions for those stops, how to get from one place to the next. And at the bottom, there is a brief route summary showing the trip cost and the trip duration. Again, I created this route by choosing the Create Directions Report button here. You can also export an Excel sheet, which will show a bit more of a brief overview of the route in a tabular format. So it looks something like this. It basically just shows the name for each stop. In this case, that was my customer name, the time I should be reaching that stop at, the total distance of the route, and the longitude and latitude of each stop. Also, if the route spans multiple days, you'll see updates to the day column here. That pretty much covers everything with the routing reports. I'm going to display one last poll. So to save a route is pretty straightforward. All you need to do is click on the Save Route button, and you can give it a name. So my route, and I'll hit Save. The route will save independent of the workspace. So if I open a workspace, it will still show my points and my stops as a layer usually, but it won't show the route itself. So for example, if I clear the route and I want to reload it, I can click on Open Route, and I can choose to load the route that I just saved. It'll prompt me to use the route options that I already had, or maybe if I've set up different route options since then and I want to use those, I can uncheck this. I'll hit OK, and it's going to load the route up and display it on the map.